there, I'm the extra guy, use me to continue, and welcome to this video where I answer life's biggest question: am I really sane enough to play through this stroke-inducing game? Because apparently I am! I mean, really, how can you tackle a concept such as toys coming to life in a video game? I mean, there are several ways you could do it, but when your main character is a wimpy cowboy doll who's jealous over his kid giving more attention to the cool spaceman action figure, and getting lost in the process, somehow ending up in a disturbed kid's place where he disfigures and blows up toys, and turning all of that into a fun little video game for the kiddies, and making it absolutely fucking impossible for a kid to complete. This is Toy Story for the Mega Drive.
You may remember this movie called Toy Story by a company called Disney.
Because no one's heard of them before.
Toy Story and its sequels are, of course, no exception to the brilliance that is Disney, and certainly a part of many a childhood.
At least if you had a childhood.
And if you remember watching the first film on VHS, it's sure to give you the comfort of knowing you either grew up in the 90s or that you never got a DVD player until many years later. This series of animated Pixar films is still beloved by many of all ages, and by yours truly. Toy Story was Pixar's first major film in a time where computer animation was just getting off the ground, basically. And Toy Story showed people just what computer animation could do for movies as an art form.
The video game, on the other hand, a completely different story. Now, for those of you old enough who had the pleasure of either owning a Super Nintendo or a Sega Mega Drive, or Genesis for you Yanks, you may have come across this game. I certainly did.
In fact, I heard about it from the Toy Story videotape itself. Before the movie started, there would be all these advertisements for Disney stuff and, like their movies on home video, and of course the Disneyland advertisement, which was probably the best part. I mean, it was like a distant dream in a faraway land called America. I was 3 or 4 years old at the time. I didn't know what America was. I just knew that Disneyland was there and I wanted to go.
I also thought America was part of Australia. Bear in mind, this is before I knew anything about geography.
Now, they also advertised the Toy Story video game on the Super Nintendo and Sega Mega Drive, as well as the Toy Story interactive storybook on PC, which I mistook for the same game. Just look at this, compared to this. As a kid, you don't see the difference. You just see shit that you like and you want it.
At the time, I'd only just started playing video games, and sure I wanted it. I mean, I loved Toy Story, and damn it, I wanted to play this game. Now, years later, watching this trailer, you notice the overselling that the person is... Just watch.
And Escape from Sid's House. It's the most amazing 16-bit game ever made.
I think they may have cherry-picked this one a little bit. The entire quote is probably, "It's not the most amazing 16-bit video game ever made, but it's okay." Or words to that effect. Wait, Video Games Magazine? What, they couldn't come up with an original name? Actually, hang on, is this quote even real? Is this magazine real? I can't find anything on Google because the name is so fucking generic, it just takes me to various video game magazine sites. Aside from that, how do you expect people to believe you when you say something like this? I mean, you have to really sell a quote like that, and the game better fucking deliver on this promise. If you completely ignore games like Sonic the Hedgehog, Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past, F-Zero, Super Metroid, Donkey Kong Country, Super Mario World...
Actually, you know what? Pretty much any 16-bit video game but this one. I mean, did Disney pay them so much that they contracted Alzheimer's and forgot every single video game released before 1996, which is the release date of this game? Now, even though I played the Super Nintendo version when I was a kid, I've got the Mega Drive version here, and I've actually owned this pretty much since I started collecting retro video games. In fact, I've had this one since I found the Mega Drive. It came with it, just the cartridge though. Also, when I was a kid, I never bought the Toy Story game. My parents just hid it from the video shop, and I just remember that a lot more, which, honestly, I don't know why, but I remember liking it. What? You know, maybe I would have liked Literal Turd if it had something to do with Toy Story.
The only real differences between the two versions are the graphics and sound, as is usual with SNES and Sega Multiplats. The graphics and presentation, I think the Mega Drive version does a lot better, at least in my opinion. Usually it's the SNES version with better visuals. The game itself uses pre-rendered 3D assets in place of drawn sprites, much like Donkey Kong Country did. The SNES version wins in terms of sound quality, but there's just something about the Mega Drive music that I like here.
If you want a full comparison, I'd recommend Console Wars. They did a great video on both games. I'd recommend their channel as well.
There's also a CD-ROM PC version of the game, which, from what I can tell, it looks like the Super Nintendo version. So there's probably no point in comparing it here, plus, at the moment, I can only get it through,
You are a
other
pirate.
means.
You're hard-fitted indeed. Being a pirate is a wretched thing.
But it's not the point of this video. Plus, I've got the book for some reason. Yeah, I found it randomly at an op shop.
No, I can imagine what it would have been like for a kid back in the mid-90s to go into a shop and to buy this game. I mean, you know, he sees the front cover and it's Woody going, "Oh, Buzz, look out!" And then Buzz is just like, he looks like he's having a seizure. Okay, in all seriousness, the kid's probably thinking, "Oh wow, that's a cool cover," and you know, he buys the game,
For $49?
gets home, and he opens the case up, and it's Woody pointing and laughing at the title, going, "You're gonna play this shit? You're a fucking idiot." The hell was the reasoning behind this cartridge art? I mean, what? How else are you meant to interpret that? Let's put it in, shall we?
Well, the menu music is Strange Things Are Happening to Me. Yep, strange things are definitely happening to me if I'm playing this. We have a choice of 4 different menus. Start, options, password, and help. That might come in handy later. The options menu just changes the controls, and the password screen lets you continue progress from the start of a chapter. It's not too complex, just 5 numbers.
Anyway, let's get on with it. Now, I've got these two sitting next to me. I'm sure they're very...
Howdy, partner.
It's okay.
My name's Woody.
Okay, we know that from the fucking movie. Right. Let's do this.
Do it.
To infinity and beyond!
To infinity.
And beyond.
Buzz, fuck was that, mate? Could have put more Tim Allen in that, honestly.
Before each level, you get a bit of the story and what's going on. Now, it doesn't follow the movie exactly, but at least it has the main points of the film, I suppose. Okay, level 1, that old army game.
Wow, this music, I don't have anything else to say. It's fucking beautiful.
It sounds dicky.
Have a look at Woody, would you? He's just dancing to this tune like he's that one awkward guy in a nightclub dragged here by his friends. He doesn't want to be there. He just wants to stay at home and play video games instead. I'm not projecting, I swear. Woody has a basic jump, which when you tap it, he makes a small hop, and when you hold it, he jumps higher. Sounds simple enough, right? Except his jump is really fucking lame. You know, when you put a character in a platforming game, can you at least make them not suck in one of the most basic of gameplay elements? He also has a basic attack where he whips his string like he's Simon Belmont or something. And just like his jump, it's shit. It doesn't kill anything, it just ties them up and disables them for a short amount of time. Where is he getting this string from? Is he Spider-Woody? Does he have an infinite supply of string stored inside him? Also, why the fuck do I care? Now, for the later stages, I can at least understand why you would need it, but why do all these toys in the first chapter want to hurt Woody? What has Woody done to piss them off like this? Do they have foresight or something? Or are they just perpetually blind and don't actually know they're hurting someone? I mean, just look at them. They have no discernible face like the other toys. They don't have a personality. They can't talk or express themselves. I mean, their life has no meaning outside of just being background toys. This is hell for them. Jesus.
I mean, Toy Story never really explained how toys gain their sentience in the first place, so... it was for the best.
To complete this level, you have to help the army men get the radio downstairs to the party. So you have to whip the lid open for them to get out, then go to a shelf and then whip the radio off so they can do that, which follows the movie at least. The level is rather different from a point A to point B platformer since you have objectives to fulfill before you can progress. Now you can explore the rest of the level, but I don't have the patience with jumping mechanics that a donkey designed. After the level ends, and after every level in this game ends, Woody does his little dance for us.
We did it! We did it! We did it! Yay!
The next level, Red Alert. Which is not a real-time strategy bonus stage, it's an epic race against time to put the toys in the toy box. Fucking riveting stuff. And these toys, well, as you can see, they can't quite figure out how to get past objects in this 2D perspective world. They really don't have any brains. I mean, their heads are plastic shells after all, so can you blame them? Once you remove whatever obstacle it is blocking them and they find their way in the direction of the toy box, you have to boost them in with the penis enlarger. I mean, a balloon pump. Yeah, it's pretty easy to get them in once you get the timing right. If you miss, they'll just come back anyway. Now, why the fuck are they running away from the toy box? I mean, Ham stays still, since he seems to be the only smart one. I guess what the developers were going for was the whole chaos of the scene in the movie, but that didn't take 2 minutes, and the toys found their way into the toy box themselves. And then Rex knocked himself out. RC is... Look, you've got a whole heap of background and foreground there. You can just drive around it, you dumb shit. Once you get the toys in their places, and finally...
Keel over and die.
On the bed, the stage ends, Woody does his happy dance, and it's on to the next level, where we have to race Buzz. Okay, I don't remember this from the movie, but we'll roll with it. Now, you don't race Buzz per se, you just have to get through the level without dying as Buzz taunts you with his sweet moves. Woody, draw me like one of your French toys. And of course, all the toys, again, want you dead in this stage, such as killer sharks, killer clowns, and blind-ass planes. And then you've got the abyss that spits you back out whenever you miss the shelves. The next stage is a boss battle with Buzz inside Woody's dream. Now, this definitely did not happen in the movie.
I wonder if this is going to be a running thing.
Woody's really traumatized by this all, isn't he? Damn, he needs therapy. As the first boss, he's not too bad. He's pretty easy once you figure out his pattern. Destroy the balls of his force field and avoid his laser beam.
It's not a laser, it's a little light bulb that blinks.
Yeah, well, try telling that to yourself in this dream, Woody. Once you defeat him, he shits out a bunch of stars, which disappear before you can collect most of them, and it's on to the next stage, which is also the new chapter. So, like in the movie, Woody gets the bright idea to knock Buzz behind the cupboard, and...
What kind of a face were they going for here? I know it's from the movie, but... What the fuck?
This next level changes the game mechanics completely. Instead of a platformer, you now control RC in a Micro Machines style driving level, but instead of a tight control scheme that's fun to play, this controls like arse on a shit sled. You often go bouncing off of obstacles and walls if you don't control yourself right. Now what you're supposed to do is bump into Buzz, or catapult him into the atmosphere, several times may I add, and get to the end. You also have to collect the batteries that fly out of him so that you don't fail the level by running out of power. It's not timed at least, so if you miss them, you can just go back and collect them again, and it refills the battery meter to full. Because RC runs out of battery like a fucking smartphone. The poor guy's on goddamn life support, and Woody's using him for his maniacal schemes.
You are a sad, strange little man.
Also, can I just take a second to ask where the hell this takes place in Andy's room? Just how big is his room to cram this much shit in? And why isn't his mum telling him to clean this shit up? I mean, the scene in the movie went rather short. In fact, the car didn't even hit Buzz, but somehow they managed to make this one scene that took place on a desk in a span of about a minute into a whole level. Now that's classic game design for you. Just put shit anywhere in a level, even if it doesn't make logical sense why the hell it's there. And here's another deviation from the story. The next level, Rex is rather helpful to Woody, because he's so upset that he doesn't even know where he's going. So you have to help him through the level, and in doing so, he'll help you escape. No word on what the other toys think of Rex for doing this, but there's no way to rationalize it. They managed to make 3 levels out of something that took just a minute and a half in the movie. I'm fucking amazed at this point. So you have to solve the various ways of allowing Rex to get past obstacles, and again, just like the toy box stage, he's a fucking dumbass and still hasn't figured out how to traverse the foreground or the background, and somehow is not strong enough to break through a letter block and some petroleum jelly? We in Australia just call it Vaso, but you know. Anyway, you have to clear whatever this shit is so that you can progress through the level with Rex, and every single toy wants to prevent you from doing that. Now, you see, in this stage, it makes sense why all the toys want you dead. You knocked Buzz out of the window, and it makes sense why the piggy bank, robot guy, steroid dude, and Mr. Potato Head hurt. Yo, Potato Head. You alright, mate?
Yeah, you're gonna be fine.
Now again, what's with Andy's room and its seemingly TARDIS-like structure? This kid lives in a fucking labyrinth of shells. I'm surprised David Bowie hasn't come out and stolen Molly. Once we reach the final part of the level, we find bulk biceps here, preventing Rex from going any further. But after whipping him like the dominatrix that Woody is, we are free to continue to the next level. The toys are still unhappy with Woody, so they chase him while he's riding Rex. Again, let me remind you, this didn't happen in the film. While riding Rex through his long-ass room, you have to dodge the army men, planes, trains, and automobiles, and trust me when I say this, if you're not paying attention, you will lose a life quite a few times. Or if you're like me and lost all your lives before the stage and then fucked up just once. Okay, just jump over the army men. Okay. Oh god. Oh shit. Oh, wait, that was a checkpoint! I jumped over the checkpoint! What the fuck? And I'm dead. Continue?
Oh good. At least it's not one of those games.
Also, before I move on, let me just mention the fact that Woody doesn't have a death animation after losing a life. You get hit with 1 star of health left and it's just... and then it's back to either the start of the level or the last checkpoint. The next stage is a Buzz battle where you have to tire him out. Tire Tire Buzz out. To defeat him, you just have to whip the tire over. You just have to whip the... Oh, for fuck's sake, this is so fucking precise. You have to be just perfect to get the fucking tire over him. Or not. What the fuck constitutes as a... What? Why the...
Why can't I just... Oh, for fuck.
Oh, God, I've got no lives left. Game over? At least they're gonna continue... What? 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 So, as it turns out, those stars you collect during every stage are very important if you want continues, lives, health, and a chance at a bonus game. Which wouldn't be so bad if these fucking stars were easier to collect. Oftentimes, you have to really explore a level to get them, and like I said before, jumping in this game fucking sucks. It's suicidal if you don't know the layout of the stage, because in turn, you can actually make yourself lose health, and possibly end up losing a life just looking for those stars. On top of that, if you lose health at any point of the stage and then you complete the stage, guess what? Your health doesn't replenish to the next level. Not unless you care enough to collect those fucking stars. 100 gets you 1 health refill, not a life like other normal games, certainly not a full health refill. Nope, just 1 star of health. That's it. 200 stars? Guess what? You get to play a target shooting minigame, which is hard enough to do with the Mega Drive D-pad, which will give you, wait for it, 3
health! What's the fucking point of that?
Now, I assume at 300 you get to continue. A keyword here being assume, because surely they wouldn't be that mean. But good luck being that fucking patient and playing this game long enough without dying to find that out. I had a hard enough time as it was staying alive to get the stars, just to get the footage of me playing the bloody minigame. Even when you input the password to go back to the chapter you died on, you don't get a free continue like you did if you just started the game again. And plus, all the stars you collected before, well, now you have 0, because the password system doesn't save any progress. It's just a marker for a chapter. Now, as an adult, I can manage, I can adapt, and I can do as best as I can without fucking it up so much. But when I was a kid, my experience playing video games at this point in my life was jumping around and having fun in Mario World and collecting bananas in Donkey Kong. 2 games a young me could have played for hours, even if I wasn't good at them. And if I couldn't do something, it was either my big brothers or mum and dad would step in to help me, and those games aren't nearly as frustrating even today. Even when I was playing this game as a 4-year-old, I remember only playing through the first level, and that's it.
Alright, to be fair, it's not as difficult as games like Castlevania, Battletoads, Mega Man, or Ninja Gaiden, or any game like that. This is doable, for me at least. But that still doesn't mean it's not fucking infuriating. Plus, I grew up in a different era of video games. I'm not used to overly difficult and brutally challenging video games. Give me Super Mario 64 or Banjo-Kazooie, Ocarina of Time, any day.
So we start the chapter again, and that means driving RC through the convenient track placed around Annie's room, getting Rex through the level where everyone wants your blood, or cotton stuffing, riding Rex, avoiding toys that hate you, and then finally and hopefully having enough lives to take on Buzz and figure out how the fuck to get the tire on him. And if by some stroke of luck you manage to do that 4 times without dying, you complete the stage and thereby complete the chapter. And so we get the password. Thank fuck for that. Next chapter. Pizza Planet. We've got to traverse through the seemingly unending arcade, which would rival the Funspot Family Entertainment Center for size, by avoiding falling chips, stray hot dogs, dangerous burgers, cans ejecting from vending machines, and worst of all,
humans.
Now for hot dogs, burgers and cans, I can understand why it would hurt Woody. I mean, such objects falling onto him with the forces of gravity would hurt the poor cotton-filled cowboy doll. But the chips, or fries to you Americans, how exactly is he being hurt by them? I mean, if it's enough to pierce his drink cup armor, those must be some fucking lethal chips. Are they sharper than a katana or something? If you so much as touch one singular pixel of these chips, they harm you. Now that's a lawsuit just waiting to happen. The humans, however, are very dangerous. Just one walking past hurts you. At least if you don't press down the control pad to hide when they walk by. One way to tell whenever a human is about to walk by is a little paper plane flying from the direction they'll be walking from. This gives you enough time to react and not lose your health from the mere presence of a human. Also, another thing that will hurt you is Buzz. If you're waiting for something like the cans and you don't press down, Buzz will keep walking. I guess thereby recreating the scene in the movie, but for fuck's sake, why does he hurt you?
Oh, watch where you're going. Sorry.
Now, apart from all that, you could probably breeze through this level after a few tries. Maybe even without getting hurt, as long as you're paying enough attention. But the next level...
Inside the claw. Yeah, this is like sitting on a chair made of rusty razor blades, shards of glass for an armrest, and Sweeney Todd really wanted to give you a nice shave. It's near to fucking impossible not to fail at least once in this level, especially if it's your first time playing. There are some interesting platforming bits here and there where you have to jump at the correct time, and they really aren't that hard, but the things that really annoy me are the hazards in this level. It's amazing what's inside this machine. Who came up with the design of the innards of this fucking thing? MC Escher? I mean, you have parts exploding, fans spinning in odd places, coins moving through tubes. I don't know about you, but it seems to me this isn't your average claw machine.
This is a military-grade supercomputer, isn't it?
Why the fuck do you need fans and a skill tester machine of all things? I've got several fans on my gaming PC to cool the parts inside for crying out loud. Also, they gotta fire whoever does the maintenance of this machine because it's fucking unstable. I don't know what the fuck these things are. I think they might be capacitors or some shit, I don't know. But whenever you get too close to them, they just give up on life. They just don't want to be objects that have an identity crisis, I suppose. Apart from that, it's pretty straightforward. The stage isn't confusing, at least. It's just very hard to do without losing health, or die at least 2 times. What's the point of this area? As far as I can see, it doesn't serve any purpose, but maybe there's a secret up there? I don't care enough to find out. Well, this is a checkpoint here. Be careful after you complete this bit, by the way, because just after you reach the top, there's an exploding piece of wank there. Just a spit in your eye after all your effort. And it catches me off guard almost every time. God damn it, I knew it was there! Why did I forget?
And the hit detection in this game is so obvious in this level.
Sometimes I wonder how the fuck something even hurts me, like this shit. Ow! Are you fucking kidding me? 1 pixel? 1 fucking pixel on his boot! I was hit by the fan by 1 tiny fucking pixel on his shoe. That caused me to lose 1 life! What the fuck?
Woody, are you really this much of a fucking pussy? How do you let something like that hurt you?
There's a snake in my boot.
Oh. Jeez, dude, I'm sorry. I didn't know about the snake in your boots. I mean, fuck you!
So, just avoid the fans at all cost. So I managed to pass all of that shit, and what a surprise, it's the last stretch to the end of the level, and it's fans where you have to have perfect timing to get past. If you lost all your health in those last bits, you better pray to all the gods of Olympus and Asgard combined, because nothing is going to help you other than your skills in luck and timing.
God damn it, the fan slapped me in the ass as I left the stage. Suppose that's the level's way of giving me the middle finger? Yeah, well, to you too, mate.
Well, at least that's over with. On to the next level. Really inside the claw machine. What, you mean that wasn't inside the claw machine? Did you jape me on purpose, you sack of shit?
One question. When did this become Wolfenstein 3D?
I mean, I'll commend the developers for the switch up of game modes here, but why? A first-person maze fetch quest in a platforming game? I'm surprised they didn't name this stage something referencing a first-person shooter, like, instead of the stupid name they gave the level, it could have been Knee-Deep Inside the Claw Machine, or Woody Stein 3D, or what if they had Woody's face at the bottom of the screen? It actually, you know what, that's such a good idea. Now, the first time coming into this level, you are not going to know where to go, and the time limit for the stage is so small that you can't really explore either. And you have to be careful that you don't let that time run out, because if you do, guess what? You lose a life, which is just fucking grandiose.
Every time you pick up an alien, a Sega quality soundbite plays of...
Hello! Which, if I'm not mistaken, it's from the scene where Woody meets Buzz for the first time in the movie.
Hello?
Just pitched up, that's all. Alright, now that we've done that for the aliens, it's time to face the claw, with 0 lives remaining. Great. Wait, 2 health? 2 fucking health? But I died in the last stage because it ran out of time. Shouldn't that mean... Yeah, no, for some reason, even if you just ran out of time and lost your life, but then passed the level after it, your health in the normal game still doesn't fucking reset. What sort of bullshit is that? And I'm dead. And I have no continues.
You know what that means.
Back to the start of the chapter. Avoid chips, burgers, drinks, and humans. Get through the oddly constructed labyrinthian claw machine. Don't mess with singular fucking pixels. Really traverse through the claw machine, kill some Nazis, kill some demons, find the aliens, and then finally back to the claw. Okay, so once I actually have enough lives to figure out what the fuck I'm meant to do here, you have to launch the aliens at the claw with your string by whipping them diagonally to prevent Sid from taking Buzz, which is not as easy as it looks, but you eventually get the pattern down, so it's not as bad as the previous boss fight, but you can still fuck this up just as easy through a few bad alien launches with your whip.
I don't know why Sid's not freaking out over the fact that a cowboy doll was whipping aliens onto the claw, trying to prevent him from getting his Buzz Lightyear toy. I mean, if I was him, I wouldn't be fucking trying to get the toys out. I'd be calling an exorcist. Let the toys stay in there. Let them sort it out themselves.
Okay, so the boss battle is of course in vain because Sid captures you both anyway. And then Sid takes you to his house just like the movie, which is the next chapter. And for fuck's sake, is this next chapter harder than a congested highway trip to hell on a fucking motorcycle? Sid's room is brutal, just completely fucking brutal. It's relentless, it doesn't give you a break at all. The layout of the stages put dangerous shit that you know is coming, but you keep fucking it up and getting hit by firework flames and darts that you forgot about. There's tons of enemies that just pop out of nowhere. Worst of all, there's enemies you can't hit without crouching or being below them. These fucking tiny ass spider things get me every time. Also, I don't know what the fuck is wrong with Sid, but all the shit in his room, it's amazing he hasn't burned his house down with the fire spewing from his floor. And spiked yo-yos? What the fuck is wrong with him? This kid has some weird fucking fetishes.
What the fuck? Get a new hobby, for God's sake, mate. Or at least a psychiatrist, because you're gonna need one soon. And again, maybe he's the child version of Psycho Sid.
This is just the first level of this chapter, and I've lost nearly all my lives. And keep in mind, I don't have a continue to spare. The password made sure of that. Also, in this stage, there's a section where Sid burns Woody's forehead with the magnifying glass. 2 times, might I add.
You know, like the movie.
After which it causes Woody to shout, "Hot, hot, hot!" while flailing his arms around like a lunatic. And you cannot stop him from running either. Best you can do is go backwards and do a kind of frenzied dance as you wait for these spiked anal massages to go up. All the while, Woody keeps repeating the same line of, I finally get to the end of the level and onto the next, but I've barely got any health and lives left to figure out where to go here. To progress through this level, you have to go up and down and up and down. This level is certainly more vertical than the others, but of course I die when I actually get somewhere, and I die because I couldn't see what was fucking below me. Game over.
And you know what that means.
Go to the password screen, input the password, restart the first fucking level of the chapter, get to the stage you died at with barely any fucking lives again, rinse, repeat, oh to fucking joy. I've got no hope. Even when I try to avoid everything, they all seem to be there waiting for me somewhere. Oh, come on, just, I'm gonna fuck it, oh come on. Oh you fuck. Fuck!
You will die. You are dead. Not a big surprise.
Yeehaw, cowboy! You're my favorite.
You know what? Yes. I need help. Please give me some.
This isn't helpful. This isn't helpful at all.
Okay. Let's do this again. Let's be extra careful. Fuck!
It's okay. I love dying anyway.
Okay, that was just a warm-up. Extra careful! Don't panic. I can do this. Okay, I've got further than I've ever been, and... Wait, what do? I have to use blood to fight off the torch! And I'm dead. I am dead. I'm on 0 lives, but I'm further than I was the last 28 times. I just have to avoid the fucking spiders, hit detection, flames ejaculating from the fireworks, and barrels that Donkey Kong shat out his asshole. Come on, I'm nearly there.
Dead.
No, fuck this, I'm using tricks.
Who didn't resort to this if something got too hard? Well, back in the day, as long as you could get your hands on a cheat book or a magazine or something like a Game Genie action replay or whatever it was.
And these days we just use the internet, which is how I found this code. Abracadabra. The buttons on the controller spell it out. Fucking what?
A, B, right A, C, A, down A, B, right A, which is a level skip code entered before pressing start. You'll know if you entered it correctly if you hear Woody say, "Hot, hot, hot." To activate it in-game, you just press start and A. Now, I'm not gonna cheat too much, just to the point where I actually have enough lives to progress through the fucking level without worrying. Also, so I don't have to pull my fucking hair out and have to get laser surgery to get the hair follicles to grow back.
Speaking about cheats, there's an invincibility cheat which you can perform in the second stage of the game by collecting exactly 7 stars, and then going to the toy box and crouching down in it. And as soon as your life meter starts spinning...
Yes! I am invincible!
But I'm not that cheap. I'm at least going to play this game properly.
Yes! I am invincible!
Anyway, back to the stage. And now that I'm not so stressed over the fact that if I die in this level, I have to start the other horse vomit stage again, I can focus a lot better now, and in turn I'm playing better because of it. Like, I don't have the other levels I just played on my mind, and I've actually got some headroom to fuck up maybe once, and that's enough for me. One thing I need to mention are these weird-ass swinging bits, where you have to kind of jump and whip your string to climb up this area. Now, the earlier levels had these, but not in this weird pattern. I think the level designers may have been getting a little too creative here. Once you finally get to the end stretch of the level, and where I fucking died and I didn't know what was happening, you're greeted to the mutant toys trying to kill you. What? Yep, we have to karate chop these toys, and they actually want to kill you. They take away your life.
I don't know what you're going to say, because I said it too. This didn't happen in the movie. You know what? Nothing in this game happened in the movie. I'm just going to leave it there.
As far as I'm concerned, this is Yacht Yorts. Totally an original idea, and not based off a Disney Pixar property. So you push back the toys, trying not to die before you end the level, and funnily enough, those toys didn't actually want to kill you. Yeah, and they fucking hurt you still. And the game has now skipped a whole section of the entire movie. Yup, a whole plot point bonding with Buzz and having a reason to save him just skipped. Because the next stage is the Roller Bob stage. You remember the Running Wreck stage? Well, this is that, but 10 times worse. And it seems that the entire house, including the attack dog, and numerous explosives are now trying to kill you. You know, maybe this is actually an ISIS hideout. There's way too many bombs, gas canisters, and missiles flying around this house to be anything but a normal suburban family home. Thank God I decided to cheat Sid's house, because there's no way I would have been able to do all of that and then have to go through this madness. Because I only had 2 chances to do it and I still died. And I had to cheat again. Every time I missed the checkpoint and goddammit, I did it twice. So when you manage to get to the end of the level, you face off against, wait, no boss battle with Sid or anything ridiculous like that? Well, I guess all I can say is thank you. Next level, Daytona. Daytona.
You know, like Daytona, USA. Which is nothing like this level.
This game's obsession with puns is rather concerning, and unlike the great arcade racing game by Sega, this is just Outrun if you took away all the personality, the vibrant colours and fun gameplay and replaced it with whatever this molasses is. Again, the game has changed its mechanics to that of an early racing game, but not a good one. The only thing you have to worry about is collecting energy, and that's the most challenge this level offers. You know what, compared to the last levels that I went through, I'm surprised there isn't killer robot Nazi sharks trying to stop you from doing that. There just isn't much challenge here. And then, when you reach the end of the level... Wait, what's this house at the end of the road here?
Wait, hang on. We just reached the end of the street. The last house in this nuclear wasteland. Is there any context to this house? You know, I don't care anymore.
Second level of the last chapter, and it's another driving stage, this time with the same horrible controls of the first level of chapter 2, but it takes about a minute to complete. I'm not even joking. Next stage.
Rocket Man! Here it comes!
Where we have to catch up to Andy, and Buzz just launches off of RC with Woody, and wait, guys, I think you may want to go back and get him. Can't do that. Whatever, this shit is nearly over. I didn't know we're suddenly playing Flappy Buzz. Okay, to be honest, it just controls like a shoot 'em up, but I guess I was expecting another weird gameplay change-up. I wouldn't be surprised if it suddenly turned into Gradius or something. Oh, and by the way, Buzz can fly now?
This isn't flying, this is falling with style.
Bullshit! You got some serious lift and velocity for a fucking plastic toy with no aerodynamics while holding a ragdoll.
Now, I know it's a video game, and the rules of real life don't apply to the virtual world and all. I know that, but... how is he flying?
The stage is really easy as long as you don't hit anything, and the only way I can see that happening is if you aren't paying attention, which even I'm surprised my attention span for this level lasted this long. And really it's not that bad, even if you lose all your lives in this stage, since the chapter is super easy compared to the brain aneurysm that was the last chapter. The final goal is to reach Andy's car, just like in the movie, except at the very last section of this level where you have to pass the truck, and I don't know what the fuck is happening here. Buzz flies right in view of the truck driver. He just flies in front of the driver's window. It's a wonder he didn't crash the fucking truck seeing that, or possibly check how much weed he smoked before getting behind the wheel. Maybe that's why the truck tries to kill you, because Buzz just maneuvers himself right in front of the wheel of the truck, but the only thing stopping Buzz is the scroll of the screen. He's close to becoming a fucking intergalactic toy pancake because the game world won't let him get away from the truck. And after all that bullshit, you finally make it to Andy's car, surprise the fuck out of him, and the game ends. Oh boy, do I love this screen.
Now, the game isn't that bad, at least not in the melodramatic way that I put it. And when it comes down to it, there are a lot of fun moments in this game, I'm not gonna lie.
Sometimes the platforming in levels are fun, and the mix-up of gameplay modes are also pretty creative, and sometimes the challenge is fun when it's not screwing you over. But it's all these hair pulling out, controller smashing, frustrating as all hell, ridiculously difficult moments that just bring this game down. It wouldn't be as bad if it weren't for all that bullshit. If I could get a break with maybe more lives and better rewards for collecting those stars, I could live with dying over and over again over the same level. But the problem is, if you don't cheat, you're sent back to the start of the chapter. You don't have any time to practice what you fucked up, because by the time you get back to the stage you died on, you've either run out of lives, run out of health, or fucking both. And for fuck's sake, the boss battle with Buzz at the service station is fucking god-awful. At least with the claw in the first battle with Buzz, you can get used to the pattern a lot easier when you conserve your lives and health, and you get a good rhythm with either whipping those energy balls and attacking Buzz, or whipping the aliens and aiming the claw. But fucking hell, I can't for the life of me get the tire on Buzz in a stable pattern. I got lucky when I finally managed it. I'm sure there's a trick, but I can't master it whilst worrying about starting the entire fucking chapter again, just to get back to fighting Buzz. So, other than those annoying bits of the game, it would have been a lot better. And you know what, I would probably regard it as a gem, but this game was clearly designed to frustrate the shit out of you. These games, for me at least, can actually be really fun when they give you a break and reward you for your patience, rather than punishing you for bloody attempting, and then having to use cheats, because you just want to pass the fucking level! By the way, I discovered this after the fact, but there are 2 other screens in the options menu, not just the control screen. And those other screens are lives and story. God damn it, why didn't I discover this earlier? Then I wouldn't have had to cheat. I would have actually, completed it legitimately without using the level skip code. I could choose up to 5 lives! Look at that! And that would have been enough for me to finish Sid's room. Oh, for fuck's sake. And the story screen, well, it just lets you turn off those little bits before the start of a level, taking you straight to the Etch-a-Sketch screen. To tell you a little story, I had just started my life as a gamer when I first played this, and playing it again now that I'm older and better at video games makes me think of that very blurry time I had with the Super Nintendo, before my very clear memories of the Nintendo 64. It's an interesting game to try out. Its attraction has kind of grown on me now, but I don't think it's going to make my top list of games anytime soon. Plus, I prefer Toy Story 2: Buzz Lightyear to the Rescue, which is an excellent game and is leaps and bounds better in my opinion, both in its approach to challenge and its focus on that late 90s style of platforming. Funnily enough, made by the same developers, Traveller's Tales. They clearly knew what they were doing when they made this one. I played this game when I was much older and had a lot more experience with video games at that point, so I have more fond memories playing this game rather than this one. It's also one of the first PC games I actually remember playing.
So, that's really all I can say about Toy Story for the Mega Drive. If you're sane enough to play through the game without cheating once, good luck, because you clearly have more patience than I do. Anyway, stay safe and have a nice day.
Hello there! Well, if you liked this video or you disliked it, you know what to do. Want to voice your opinion? Comment below, or above, or on the side. Or if YouTubers change their layout again to where you have to comment in a pocket dimension, do that. And if you want to see more content, hit that subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. And you'll probably get a cookie. I can't guarantee the cookie, but what I can guarantee is a lot of laughs.
Oh, unprotected sex. The fuck am I doing?